Hello and welcome to episode 46 of Smooth Traffic. My name's Rob King, and in this episode I will be joined by Jonny Edge and Ben Lazarus Pierce. However, because John's an absolute moron, it turns out that when we recorded this episode, he failed to hit the record button for the introduction, which is why I'm doing this right now. So, prepare yourselves for an exciting episode. We'll be debuting a scene from Jonny's new movie, Timestain, which we came up with the idea of in the last episode when we were talking about time-travelling farts. There'll be another round of Deadliest Boot Spaces. Can Ben claw yet another point back? We'll find out. Jonny will be talking about another piece of art, because Twitter wanted it, so we're giving it to you. There'll also be discussion about the new Volkswagen Golf GTi something or other special edition, because you can't have too many Golfs in the world. We'll be doing my dictionary corner, and we've had yet another fax, because that machine just refuses to die.
Right, so, in the last episode we obviously talked about farting time travel, didn't we? Which I'm a huge fan of, by the way. I think that is potentially one of the best things that could happen to civilization. We came up between us of the idea of a film based on the idea of farting time travel, and its name is Timestain. And so I've tried to write a scene from Timestain, and I've sent you chaps the documents here. And I thought before we do the scene from Timestain, I thought I should probably just talk you through it about what I've got going on here. So if you have a look, I've got the scene 1 characters. Dick Pembridge. He's the senior of the two. He's a former pilot and he likes to drink. Ideally, I'd like him to be played by somebody who looks like Dick Van Dyke, but isn't anything like the
What? Hang on.
just looks like him. I don't want him to sound like it.
Right,
just
okay.
looks like Dick Van Dyke.
Got it.
Right, and then we got Sanch. Yeah?
Sanch.
He's a deputy. He's idealistic. He's smart, and he's hard to read, but strong as fuck. And ideally, I'd like him to be played by Teal'c from Stargate SG-1.
Okay.
So that would be ideal. If we can get Teal'c from Stargate to be Sanch, brilliant. So Dick Van Dyke and Teal'c is what I'm going for here. See what I'm doing? Put those two together in your head, because you two are going to be Dick Van Dyke and Teal'c in this scene.
Have you already decided who's going to be who?
I've had an idea, but I'm not fussed, to be honest.
Okay, yeah.
It's shit, so it doesn't matter.
I just wondered if you'd already planned this in your head, so that you could then stitch us up somehow.
No, but I did write Sanch's second line with Teal'c in mind. So if you have a look to Sanch's second line, I've just...
Nice.
I just thought, it's one of the first things he has to say, isn't it, apart from, the first bit, but I just thought that'll just make him feel right at home if he gets to say that straight away.
Okay.
I couldn't fit in O'Neill anywhere. Never mind. So, in this scene, basically, we got two of Shit Division's finest, and Shit Division is... If I switch to my note page here, Shit Division is the Society of Helpful and Interesting Time Trackers. And these are helpful and interesting people who try and find people who've basically travelled through time by wandering into a time stain.
Right.
So, and that is what Dick Pembridge and Sanch, that's what they do for a living, basically. So yeah, it is basically, the scene is two of Shit Division's finest, Dick Pembridge and Sanch, find themselves in a room on the east wing of Bellings Lake Hospital to look into the arrival of a mysterious new patient. Lying on the bed in the room hooked up to an array of machines is a man with no obvious signs of trauma other than a green tinge around his face. The heart rate monitor beeps slowly but consistently.
What is going on?
That is setting the scene. I don't know what scene it is. I haven't got any sort of plot or anything. I haven't done that.
So this is literally just the opening of the film, but you don't know.
I don't know if it's the opening. It could be in the middle of the film.
But you've called it Scene 1.
Yeah, it was called Scene X before.
Scene 10?
But I mean, that's what I thought.
Thanks,
I looked at
Ben.
it and thought, is this the 10th scene?
Ben laughed at my Roman numerals joke. Excellent.
Or is this the first scene? I didn't know. I really didn't know, so I just changed it to 1 because it's the first one that I've shown anyone. But I don't know. So yeah, you can kind of choose who you want to be here. I don't mind who's who. I think Sanch has less lines, which is probably more suitable for the uncharismatic and very plain Ben.
Harsh.
I'm not sure I know who this Teal'c is.
Oh, come on, Ben. Everyone knows who Teal'c is from Stargate SG-1. Let me get a picture of him for you. Shall I get a picture of him for you, Ben? Jesus Christ.
I'm not sure it's going to help me do an impression of him.
Yeah, it will.
I don't think you have to do an impression of him. You just need to act in the way that he would.
Oh, good. That makes it easier. Yeah.
It's called acting, Ben.
He's quite wooden, I take it.
Ben, Teal'c is an absolute badass, by the way, which is why he's strong as fuck. So I was just thinking of... who would be a great sort of badass to play, and I just thought of Teal'c from Stargate. So
and then you associated that with Ben.
Well, it's a bit of a stretch, isn't it? But, I just thought he doesn't say much. It'd suit Ben, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, I know that guy. He's got a weird tattoo on his face.
So, I can do that for you if you like, Ben. But, I mean, the Jonny Studios makeup department could definitely arrange that. So, yeah, I thought King might be better off as Dick Pembridge, especially as he's got that kind of jovial Dick Van Dyke quality about him. Not that I want him to be like Dick Van Dyke. I was going to say
what you just said.
I just want him to look like Dick Van Dyke. It's probably more likely we can make King look like Dick Van Dyke than we can make Ben look like Teal'c.
I haven't got enough hair anymore.
Yeah, but there's prosthetics, isn't there? That kind of thing.
It'd be easy to make me look like Teal'c.
We'll get budget.
Well, I hope you're ready, listeners, because you're about to listen to the very first reading of a scene from the film Timestain.
And before everyone starts taking the piss, let me just say that normally when there's films being filmed, you don't get to see this bit unless it's in DVD extras. You're getting to see this before the film has been made, before the plot's been written, before pretty much everything. So
before it gets cut from the podcast.
Exactly. So well, yeah, maybe. So you lot are actually really lucky. So you can sit there going, "Oh yeah, Johnny shit at writing Timestain. I'm gonna write a tweet and say something about how it should have been fucking Dictionary Corner instead or something." But forget all that. This is great. Anyway,
who's Dick Van Dyke? Is he one of the guys from those musicals?
How many pictures do I have to show him, King?
He was in Mary Bloody Poppins.
Are you going to do that voice? What does Teal'c sound like? Is he a bit gruff?
He doesn't really say much. So don't worry. I mean, you don't have to be Teal'c, Ben. It's pretty hard to be Teal'c. But have you ever seen that Dick Van Dyke show when Dick Van Dyke is being the doctor who solves mysteries, and Barry Van Dyke, his son, is being like a badass cop?
Diagnosis Murder.
Yeah, Diagnosis Murder. That's what I was thinking here. You see, I've pictured the face of Dick Van Dyke getting involved in mysteries and stuff.
Right. Okay.
And that's what I've gone for here. So this is my first stab at this, and it'll be obvious it's my first stab at writing a movie.
That's Dick Van Dyke. There you go.
Yeah, see, Ben?
I know him.
Thank God I didn't have to send him that picture.
He's about the same age as King as well.
Yeah, he is. You ready?
Yeah, crack on.
Okay. I'm gonna make my voice go all movie-like now. Listen to this. A Jonny Studios production. Starring Robert King and Benny Lazarus Pierce. Maybe also Teal'c from Stargate SG-1. With music by Purple Planet. Written and directed by the team at Jonny Studios. Timestain. Two of Shit Division's finest find themselves in a room on the east wing of Bellings Lake Hospital to look into the arrival of a mysterious new patient. Lying on the bed in the room, hooked up to an array of machines, is a man with no obvious signs of trauma, other than a green tinge around his face. The heart rate monitor beeps slowly, but consistently.
You got this guy's notes?
Doc left him. That doesn't seem to tell us anything we don't already know. He's a ghost.
First case in years.
Brilliant. Brilliant, King. Great act.
Must have fallen right into one. Seen that tinge around the nose and face. And mouth and face.
He's a very good font.
There anything to suggest where he's from? A wallet? Photograph? Ruddy Curryhouse leaflet?
They found him lying naked in a They found him lying naked in a stairway in an old block of flats near an establishment they call Greg's. I fucking love Greg's.
I fucking love Greg's.
Oh, God.
Oh, what a movie.
I fucking love Greg's. He might be a two-faced bastard, but those cakes.
Indeed. I might have to ask him for... I must ask for a recipe, actually.
Are you fucking crazy?
I'm pretty sure he's chopping and changing accents here.
What makes you think that a shovel-handed idiot like you could make the Greg... Are you fucking crazy? What makes you think a shovel-handed idiot like you could make the Greglodites hand over a recipe that's over 150 years old?
Shovel-handed? 100?
Yeah, look at the size of those hands. Jesus Christ.
The patient of unknown origin suddenly shakes and his face starts to contort.
The fuck is going on there?
Nurse! Nurse!
The patient begins to vomit while still unconscious, and the shakes get more violent.
What's happening to him?
It's the stain. Crazy bastard. He should never have gone near it. Some people just see the glow, smell the smell. They can't stop themselves. Looks like we haven't been helpful or interesting this time. Oh, I was just getting into acting then.
Why? Why would somebody think Greg's recipes are 150 years old?
The patient flatlines just as the nurse arrives. They begin to work on him.
Leave him! It's useless! He's a strayer!
Australian?
Looks like we'll never know, Sanch. Looks like we'll never know.
The patient slowly dies. At least, that's what they thought at the time.
Timestain the movie is copyright of Jonny Studios and Smooth Traffic. Any attempt to publish or recreate without permission of the copyright holders will see you ending up cleaning shit out of your shed. And remember, never go near a stain, because it might be a time stain.
So yeah, I wrote Timestain, the movie. That's a scene from Timestain, the movie. Pretty good, isn't it?
I think your casting's a bit off, to be honest with you, but...
I think we'd have
Naturally.
done much better if we'd been able to have a read through first, Ben. I
yeah,
don't
get
think
into character.
I don't think we can take the blame on that, because
Try and
the
decide
thing is
on an accent.
the quality of your writing, John, is so unique that that I couldn't help but laugh while I was reading it. But obviously, if we had another chance to go through it, then I think Ben and I would have nailed it without any corpsing whatsoever.
Well, maybe if the listeners end up deciding that Timestain is something that should happen, I can write another scene from another random point of the movie, or possibly its sequel, Timestain 2: The Winds of Time, and put that together. But yeah, they'll have to let us know, won't they? Because I spent at least 20 minutes writing that. So
I'm very impressed.
I mean, they ought to be paying me, really, to be honest. But I suppose once someone hears this podcast and thinks, "Fuck, that's just brilliant," we're going to make a movie. We'll get our money back from ticket sales, won't we? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Our money back. How much money have you spent on this?
Well, I bought some Cherry Aid whilst doing it, so 60p so far.
So we need to sell at least one ticket.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So yeah, Timestain. It's good, isn't it? Oh my god, so deadly! Oh! Boot spaces are incredibly deadly if you drink them. But how many people have filled up their boot and then drunk the water? Well, none is the answer, because you would die after just 6 litres of it. And most boots are bigger than 6 litres, as it turns out.
Deadliest Boot Spaces.
We're comparing volumes today to see how dangerous boot spaces really are. And today we're comparing the amount of beer drunk by Andre the Giant in the space of 6 hours one time against 2 Lotus Elises.
Ooh, 2 cars.
Yep.
What?
So, did Andre the Giant once consume more beer in the space of 6 hours than 2 Lotus Elises can hold in their boot spaces?
Hold on a minute. 6 litres should kill him.
6 litres of water, Ben. And we're talking about beer.
The thing is, Ben, this is Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant, he was 7'4" and he weighed 240 kilos. At 12 years old, Andre the Giant was 6'3".
What?
Yep.
That's incredible.
It is remarkable. He was a genuinely remarkable human specimen, which I will go into a little bit later. But one time he got, by his standards, incredibly drunk, and that's because he drank this much beer in the space of 6 hours, which is staggering, actually, when you think about it. The question is whether 2 Lotus Elises can hold more than what Andre the Giant could drink in 6 hours.
There's surely no way you could drink that amount. I don't know how big the Lotus Elite boot is, but the fact they bothered to put one in means it's got to be at least sort of like 20 odd litres.
What size are the beers, though? Are we talking about pints?
Well, no, the beers he drank were 12-ounce bottles, which I have done research on to find out that they are a certain mil, and then I've calculated the number of bottles he drank into litres from that figure, basically. Yeah.
Well, if it was me, then he'd be able to drink like 2 or 3 bottles
of non-alcoholic.
So if I was taller, 4 or 5 bottles. There you go. It's got to be the car's got to be more deadly, surely. The Elise.
Are you going to go Elise, Ben?
I think I'm going to have to go Elise.
I want to take Andre the Giant because I think that this is going to be something ridiculous, isn't it?
There was an article on this that I got from a website called The Drunkard, which is all about people being drunkards, basically. From what I could tell, I didn't spend too long on it, but I read this article about Andre the Giant, who is described as the greatest drunkard in human history. After this particular 6-hour beer drinking session, he fell asleep in a corridor and had to be covered by a piano cover. Because he was so big, no one could move him. So they left him in the corridor with a piano cover over him, and there he stayed for the night. So there we go. Andre the Giant was so big, he couldn't play the piano because his fingers could hit 3 keys at once.
That's amazing.
And it's said that a silver dollar could pass through the ring that he used to wear.
Really?
Yeah, wow. He was massive in every way because of a medical condition, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Another Andre the Giant fact is he had to have back surgery in 1986, and nobody had ever put a man that size under anaesthetic before. So they used his drinking habits to gauge how much anaesthetic they would need, basically, and that rule still applies in medical science today. They asked Andre, how much do you drink normally to get drunk? And his quote to the people was, "It usually takes 2 litres of vodka for me to feel warm inside." And there are cases of him drinking 16 bottles of wine in the back of a bus on a trip in Japan before.
I'm a bit concerned about my choice now.
So
that's ridiculous.
He was a remarkable drinker, and the thing is about Andre the Giant is apparently he never really got all that drunk apart from this one time when he drank the amount of beer that I'm going to tell you about in a minute. So a Lotus Elise has 112 litres of boot space, which is decent, isn't it? It's decent.
So two of those
224 litres. Andre the Giant consumed 119 12-ounce bottles in 6 hours. Which is
that's a new take on the Centurion Challenge, isn't it?
67.85 litres, so nowhere near the space of 2 Lotus Elises. I just wanted to trick you with that.
That's amazing, though.
But that man managed to drink
amazing.
Almost 68 litres of beer in the space of 6 hours, and it took that much to knock him out, basically. So, another funny thing about Andre the Giant, he used to enjoy pranking his friends by moving their cars around in the night. Because
I was going to say that earlier. I'm sure I've heard that before. That he'd just move cars, wouldn't he? Yeah.
Pick people's cars up and move them. Probably not pick them up completely, but pick them up and move them around.
Well, you just got to pick up the wheels that have got the handbrake on, haven't you?
Yep, and he would just move his mates' cars around for a laugh and confuse them, basically.
God,
incredible
bloody
human being.
expensive being him as well. If that's how much.
Yeah, he once
alcohol
stayed for a month in London in a hotel for something or other I was reading, and his bar bill was £40,000. So yeah, quite an expensive guy. But yeah, I think he was only 40 something when he died because of this condition. But by all means, had quite a good time in the world while he was around, picking up Hulk Hogan, throwing him around, drinking lots. Not bad, really. Not a bad life. So yeah, Andre the Giant once drunk nearly 68 litres of beer in the space of 6 hours, but 2 Lotus Elises can hold 224 litres. So if you want to get drunk,
do either.
Your Lotus. Yeah, just do either. Yeah, you'll be absolutely dead.
Ooh, I wonder what the score is.
8.
2 Kingy.
Big 5.
2 Benny.
Irritatingly, Twitter has spoken, and Jonny gets to review some more art.
You love art.
I think you love it more.
And I
like your take on art, Jonny.
finally got my jingle. King, I'm an expert in art, and people want to hear what experts have to say all the time. That's why they always listen to expert things, and watch expert things, and buy expert things. So there.
Wow.
And I've got a jingle now.
Quite the wordsmith.
This is the classiest segment on Smooth Traffic. It makes Dictionary Corner look like a poo hole.
Did you come up with that phrase all by yourself?
Yes, because I don't plagiarise Channel 4's work, King.
So anyway, did you know, Jonny, that actually we've been educational in your art segment? We were tweeted by James' friend, who said that listening to your art segment and you talking about the hat that was worn on the Son of Man, it meant he actually knew the answer to a question on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
And he won £1 million because of me. No problem, James. I'm happy to be there to help you, learn more about art. Because that's what experts do. They help you learn about stuff. Not like King, just peddling nonsense on his poo hole of a segment. No. This is a serious segment for serious people interested in the serious world of art. And that is what I bring to the artist table. Easel.
And you won't have heard this until after it's published, Jonny, but here is the new jingle I've knocked together for you.
This is Edge on Art. I know everything about art. I've been to the Louvre.
So there we go. Let's see if you can be educational with this next one, Jonny. Please talk to us about the birth of Venus.
Oh, Venus. Wonderful tennis player. Let's have a look. Oh, I like this painting.
Ooh. I
like this painting because it's kind of a celebration of the female form, isn't it? Don't you think?
I don't know. That's what you're here to tell us.
Yeah, that's what you're paid for.
Oh, I think this is a celebration of the female form because it's quite modest, even though Venus, not the tennis player as it turns out, and some people might get confused by that. I obviously don't because I'm an art expert, but some people might. Is completely naked. She is completely naked and standing in a shell that is also being used as one of those holiday park boats that you can sit in with 2 people and pedal around in. But there's only one person in this boat because Venus is quite special indeed, and she is standing in the boat naked. She might have had a bit to drink, but she is showing off her form in a very modest way, whilst floaty people either side of her, who've probably had a lot more to consume than Venus has, are trying to offer her clothes back so she doesn't make a tit of herself in front of everybody at the holiday park. Really, really lovely, modest painting. It is not erotic in any sort of way, I don't think. It's just a celebration of the female form, and I like that. It's not over the top, and Botticelli's done a nice job on just showing us a woman in a way that we don't have to feel guilty about or pay $7.99 a month on the internet for. So thank you, Mr. Botticelli, you Italian legend. Funnily enough, the Italians are quite big consumers of porn. They are particularly sexy people. But at least they are in this day and age. historians aren't sure whether they were 500 or 600 years ago, because it's hard to document that sort of thing. But probably yes, because Italians have probably not really changed in that time, because they are a little bit stubborn, quite passionate, and quite randy. So it's pretty safe to say that in the Italian days of the 1500s, when this was painted, they probably thought it was pretty damn sexy, and a lot of people probably got pretty damn excited at the art gallery or exhibition that was held in the state of Florence, where this painting was actually painted on the paint stand thing.
He's a natural, isn't he? He just knows so much about it.
He is.
Art expert. Tweet me your art questions, I'll answer them. No problem. I just know everything about art. I've been to the Louvre.
But have you been to the Uffizi gallery?
No, I don't like it there.
How do you know you don't like it if you haven't been there?
Just don't like it. Are you saying you'd like Chernobyl, King?
What?
Exactly. So, just some places you won't like.
I've
like
never said
the inside of the Chernobyl
like
nuclear reactor.
Yeah, but I don't know that I don't like it there.
You won't like it there, King. And that's how I feel about the Uffizi. I just wouldn't like it there. So.
But you like this painting?
I do like this painting. It's nice.
And you don't think that's enough for you to go and visit the Uffizi?
Nah, not really. I mean, I could look at it on my phone, can't I? So,
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got me there.
But anyway, Dictionary Corner shit, King. So in your face, King. This segment rules. Okay, I think I've finished reviewing the art now, Ben. So yeah,
good. Well done. Thank you. Thank you for
no
educating
problem.
us.
And James, don't worry about it. Honestly, you can write me fan mail and stuff, but I won't answer it.
Big news from Volkswagen, chaps. They've launched a new Golf GTi special edition thing. Well, it's a concept. The Golf GTi TCR concept. And what I particularly love about this is that Volkswagen UK have been using the hashtag People's Supercar, because nothing says like a shitty hashtag for what is, quite frankly, a pointless car. Any thoughts on this? I know you've got some rather strong feelings on this, John, which you've already shared on the internet. Ben, any thoughts as to why they'd want to have a special edition Golf GTi?
I mean, I don't really understand the point of it. It's slightly better than a normal, or the previous Golf GTi. Not quite as good as the Golf R. Is there really a market for that sort of middle ground? Doesn't really exist, surely.
But it's hashtag People's Supercar, Ben.
But it's not even remotely a supercar, or it's just a hot hatch again, isn't it? I mean, it's a good car, but it's like, what's the point? I don't understand the point of having that alongside the rest of the Golf range. It's just, I don't get it.
Exactly. If you want,
I don't know what to say.
If you want a GTI, get it up.
Yeah.
John, would you like to share your feelings on this? John?
Yeah, no, I was just reading a text I had from Damien Cross, DCF1 on Twitter.
Okay.
He listened to the first 40 minutes of episode 45 when he was walking to work the other day, and he just said that his dad used to have toast with his roast.
Okay.
So there you go.
Well,
which is probably about as useful a comment as the GTI will be useful to general society. I.e., not very.
He said it never occurred to him as being strange, as you just assume everything you see is normal when you're 5.
Very valid. It's a good point.
People have done it before and they've had a lot of joy out of it. Toast with a roast. It's just got to be done the right way, that's all I'm saying. And when you try it, you're going to love it. People out there would rather hear what I think about the Golf GTi TCR. Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think it's shit.
Good. So back to toast and a roast.
Yeah.
If anyone else has had roast and toast and roast,
toasty
roasties, then do please tweet us at Smooth Traffic, because we'd love to hear about it. Because clearly what Ben and I think is bizarre may actually be the norm in some places. And I'm open to trying it. Ben, I think not so much, but I'm certainly more than willing to give it a try. But yeah, if you've had toast with a roast, let us know.
Listeners, just remember, just give it a go. It's just got to be done in the right way. Just take the end of a loaf, fairly thick slice, because you want it to be a little fluffy in the middle, a bit like the roasts. Lots of butter, nicely toasted. Toast with the roast goes well with the veg, goes well with the gravy. Just give it a go and just let me know what you think, because I think it is going to revolutionise the roast. And when I'm a millionaire, I'm going to open a toasty roasty restaurant, and people are going to go fucking nuts for it because it's going to be in Highgate in London, and anything that goes on in Highgate in London is fashionable.
It'll be more fashionable if you just give them bread and a toaster and they have to toast it themselves. Deconstructed toast.
Oh yeah, deconstructed roast.
It's just a pile of veg. Do it.
And a cow. Good. So basically, if you've got any feelings on the new Golf GTi TCR, or whatever it's called, don't tweet us about that, because we don't really care. Because at the end of the day, it's just another Golf, isn't it? So, you know.
Another cash-in from Volkswagen, making people pay for stuff they don't need, and designing cars to be average because they can make money out of it. Don't design a car to be the best it can be then, Volkswagen. Just design a car to be just average. You know, just cash in on that GTI badge, you know. You carry on boring us all to death. There's far more interesting rivals coming along now. You better do something, you know, to get our attention. Make us actually want to fork out far too much money for your Golf GTI. We could just go and buy a Hyundai. That looks cool now. It looks a lot cooler than your GTI. Terrible. You're an embarrassment, actually. And I will be saying more when the motoring media suspiciously come out with 5-star reviews for it on the drives.
Well, after John's popularity on Twitter with his art critiquing, I think it's important to point out that James' friend who wanted more art from John, and I'm in complete agreement with him. John, I think you're fantastic at the art critiquing.
I'm an expert.
Genuine compliment. Take it. You won't get that many from me. Or in fact anyone. However, James' friend's tweet did start with, "I come for Dictionary Corner. I stay for the art." So, the reason that James is really listening to us is Dictionary Corner. Kingy's Dictionary Corner! I love the etymology of words.
You absolute gorm.
So, this week, in a bid to improve relations between you and I, John, because I feel that there's a bit of needle between us now that the art and Dictionary Corner segments are taking off, I've prepared some words that I think you'll appreciate, because the last episode was predominantly about shit and piss.
Yeah.
So I thought I would prepare some words in that vein.
Okay. I'm excited.
The first word is piss.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we all know that it's just vulgar slang for urinating, and can also be used to describe someone getting absolutely smashed off their tits.
Yeah, like you did during your disgrace period, King.
Precisely.
Your 6-month disgrace period.
Yeah, the 2 weeks. Well, no, I say 2 weeks. The 2 consecutive weekends where we went out and I drank slightly more than I should have done. As John describes it, my disgrace period.
It was 6 months!
It wasn't, John. You have a terrible, terrible way of defining time, or even of understanding time. But we won't get into that, because I'm trying to build bridges.
You Dundee in your bare feet.
I'm trying to eat in Toblerone.
That's it. I know it.
Yes, Alan Partridge was based on me. Yeah, so piss, urine, getting smashed. It originates from Old French pisser, and is probably of imitative origin. Now, what that means, John, is that the word has probably come from the sound. So someone has basically gone, "What are you doing?" Just, you know, psst. Boom, there's your word. Those Frenchies.
So it's got something to do with snakes, is that what we're saying?
Yes. Yes, that's exactly it.
Okay.
The French saw a snake and said, le piss. And then we adopted that.
A piss rope, because they are kind of pissy little ropes,
A piss rope, yes. So, would you like some general phrases to use piss in?
Yeah, I'd love some general phrases that
and
you can
I've not used Urban Dictionary this time, because you were all very critical of me for being lazy with my research. So I've done proper research.
Plagiarism.
We had a lot of people on Twitter tell us that you've been lazy with your research.
Yeah, one person said you were as well.
I mean, normally I'd say, was it you, John? But since you're not on Twitter, unless you've got some alter ego Twitter handle. But anyway, so yes, useful phrases to be on or go on the piss. So to go on a heavy drinking session. Not have a pot to piss in. There's one for you, John. That's to mean to be very poor.
Yeah.
A piece of piss. Something that's very simple, straightforward.
Yeah.
One that I hadn't heard before. Piss in someone's pocket.
Oh, I don't know that one.
which is to
Can we-
ingratiate oneself with someone.
What does that mean?
For example, he only saved the company by pissing in his investors' pockets. Now, I presume that Ben can shed some light on this, being a banker.
Can we piss in Ben's pockets?
Yeah, I guess so, John. Why not give it a go?
Alright, I'm going to do it.
We also have piss in the wind, which is obviously just something that's a complete waste of time. Because obviously if you piss in the wind, you cover yourself.
I just imagine Ben doing that.
What, emptying
Oh,
out his
no!
pockets after you've been pissing in them? And finally, of course, take the piss. To mock someone, as we're doing to Ben right now. There are also a few phrases as well. Piss off, which I'm sure we've all used many a time. Piss about, which again is something Ben and I have probably used to directed at you, John, as in stop pissing about and let's get this podcast recorded. We've been here for 4 hours.
But I did do that really good drawing on OneNote.
You did do that really good drawing on OneNote, though, so yeah, that was definitely worth the time. Piss something away, again, wasting, particularly money. Another one for you, John. Piss someone off, which again is something that you do a lot. Piss on or piss over, as in piss on my bonfire, things like that. Just to really ruin things for people. And the phrase piss something up, which apparently is to ruin something, which I think is intended more like, you know, oh, you fucked that right up. Oh, you pissed that right up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use piss in that context, but there we go. So, do you feel enlightened about piss now, John?
Yeah, I do. It's good to know that it comes from the French people.
Yep.
And the angry little piss ropes that dwell in their landscapes.
Precisely that.
I like learning that.
Well, hold on to your hat, because next up is shit.
Oh, is it?
Yes. And
I
we
like
know
shit.
that you're a fan of shit.
Shit. Yeah, I like the word shit. The new Volkswagen GTi TCR is shit.
Very good, John.
Yeah, just using the word, trying to get a feel for it. You know?
Yeah. So, as we know, it's slang for feces. Poo. Well, shit is the obvious word. Crap. It is. You can also use the word shit as the act of defecating.
Yeah, like I'm having a shit.
Precisely. And you can also have the shits, which is diarrhea.
Mm.
Now, the interesting thing about diarrhea, and I bet you didn't think I'd say that, is that
I'm surprised you didn't every day.
this is where apparently that is where shit, the word shit, originates from. The Old English word skitter, which is of Germanic origin, actually meant diarrhea. So diarrhea kind of came first, and then it devolved into the shits. Related words are the German Scheißen and the Dutch Scheiten.
Isn't that the same word?
No.
Oh.
They're two different languages, two different spellings, two different words. The Dutch may even be pronounced schitten. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not up with my Dutch vocab that much. But originally it wasn't used as a vulgar slang term at all. It was literally just that was how you described diarrhea, as having the shits.
So when we say we've got the shits,
Yep.
we're sort of like reenacting history.
Yes, very much so.
So when we get the shits, it's kind of like a historical reenactment. Like you should probably wear like a helmet and some chainmail or something.
If you so desire, then yes.
You feel real medieval.
Yeah.
It must be really straining inside your head, Johnny. The things you come up with.
There are other meanings for the word shit as well. It can refer to something that is worthless. This is shit. It can refer to unpleasant experiences. I went through a lot of shit last year.
Listening to Smooth Traffic.
Particularly personal belongings. John left his shit at my place again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, that could apply to his personal belongings. You know,
Or a shit that he's
Or
left
left
in the
in the
centre of the
sink.
room. Yeah.
or in your shed. Seems to have a fascination with shitting in your shed at the moment.
I will shit in someone's shed. Don't you worry about that. I'm going to buy you a shed. Just
Ben,
so
aren't you
shit
getting
in
a shed?
No, just feces in it.
It can also refer to events. So, some crazy shit happened last night.
Or Shitapalooza 2017, the festival that was really shit.
Yeah. So, a few phrases for you. Be the shit. Apparently that means to be outstandingly good or impressive.
Like me at art.
So like saying, John's the shit when it comes to art.
Yeah. I've spent so much time in the Burton Art Gallery. Used to do really nice coffees there as well.
They did. True. You can also kick or beat the shit out of someone, and that is just literally giving someone a very severe beating.
Oh, and it makes them poo themselves. Can we do that to Ben?
We'll see how
you
we'll
have
see how
something
things go.
similar done to you a couple of weeks ago. Get the shit taken out of you when you had your colonoscopy. Or whatever it was.
That colonoscopy, yeah. Poor old Johnny. I bet he was shitting bricks that day.
My bum hurts.
Oh, he was literally shitting bricks. Sorry.
Sideways as well.
You can amuse yourself for shits and giggles. If something is blatantly obvious, you can use the phrase, "Do bears shit in the woods?" in response to a statement.
Do they? Has anyone ever seen that happen, though?
Probably, yes. Probably
Maybe they wander
David
out to the
Attenborough.
river and do that thing hippos do and shit and wobble their tails around.
Anyway, something for you, John. You can get your shit together, as in organising yourself in order to achieve something, maybe. That sounded like a really backhanded compliment. Yeah, I'm literally just reading a statement there. Sorry, John.
Well, I wrote Timestain the movie, so...
You did, and it was the shit.
Yes, it was. Well, the reviews aren't in yet, but...
No. I mean, if the reviews come in poorly, it may leave you in the shit if you've invested too much money in it.
Yep, 60p so far.
Or it may even give you the shits.
What, because it's scary?
Precisely. If you make someone annoyed or angry, give them the shits.
Oh.
They may even lose their shit.
King, I've remembered another phrase.
Go for it.
You can shit somebody up, can't you?
You can shit somebody up.
I'm going to shit you up, which doesn't it mean, like, scare you a bit?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good one, actually, John. Shit for brains.
Yep.
Yeah, Johnny again.
Not giving a shit is to not care.
Johnny again. Yeah.
All of us on this podcast.
Not knowing shit is knowing nothing. Be up shit creek without a paddle.
That's being in the bath with someone who's got the shits.
Yeah, and everyone's favourite, when the shit hits the fan, which is when things go right up shit creek. So do you feel enlightened about shit now, John?
I feel like I knew all of this already.
Okay. Well, I've got another word for you,
Okay.
and it's poppycock.
Poppycock.
Poppycock, as in you're speaking utter poppycock, Ben. Nonsense. However, and I didn't know this until I researched the word, it originates from Dutch dialect, papakak, which is made up of two words, pap, meaning soft, and kak, meaning dung. So,
Okay.
poppycock, it translates as soft dung. So, it's another shit word, John.
Oh. So it's got nothing to do with male flowers, then?
No, nothing to do with male flowers. But yeah, apparently mid-19th century the word originates. Utter poppycock.
Poppycock. Okay. I might use that more, now that I know that it means shit. Soft shit. Specifically soft shit, then?
Specifically soft shit.
Where have you gone, King? You leaving? King? He's gone.
For a shit.
He's walked out.
Just keep talking. I've just got a slight spider issue.
Is it going to get up and ring the doorbell?
Eh? No, it just
Is it
started,
going to ring the doorbell?
started crawling up my leg, and it was quite a chunky one, so I'm just going to go and catch it. Talk amongst yourselves.
Did
Alright.
it pass out when it got to your knee? At least he didn't shriek. I would have done.
King just got assaulted by a spider. Do you reckon King's actually shit himself now?
Where are you? You know?
He's actually gone to the bathroom to change his underwear because
He's going to try and shit up that spider. That's what
Yeah.
he's going to do.
What if he does a shit on it?
That's one way to capture it. Put a glass on it and got one. Just shit on its head.
Serve it right.
It's when you're trying to put it outside and the neighbour's like, you should be picking up shit. And it's, no, it's mine. It's fine. It's only dog poo you have to pick up. And it's not white. I'm not flushing that. It's got a spider in it.
Oh, I thought it was the golf ball I lost.
Jesus, the fucking size of this little...
Wow.
Right, King.
King's really upset about this. He rarely says the C word.
Was it a big house spider up your leg?
Yeah, it just started crawling up my leg. It was only because I felt it going up up my leg, and I was like, what the fuck's that? I've captured him.
I'm a bit nervous now.
He's used to feeling things go down his leg, but he's not
Yeah.
used to things coming up.
It barely fit in the glass.
Really?
Yeah, I've not seen one that big in quite some time.
He's still talking about the spider. We've got a snake on my... Oh, no.
Well, this is the best part of this segment so far. I hope this all stays in the edit.
King, what do you do with spiders in your flat? Because I take them outside, but it's quite a long way for you, isn't it?
I tend to just throw them out the window and let nature take its course.
You know that they can...
If it survives the fall, then it deserves to live.
But King, you know they can flick web, right, and just hang on to things and swing between buildings?
Yeah, I saw that in a film once.
Oh, yeah. Especially the red and blue ones.
Yeah, maybe that's why they're coming back.
Colour it in. See if it works.
Yeah, go on, King. Spray paint the spider.
Spray paint the spider?
Yeah. Get a little stencil for him. You gonna give him a name? Jeffrey. Jeffrey Archer.
Fuck me, he is big. Anyway, what a fucking bastard crawling at me leg.
That is
Cheeky
savage.
little bastard. I say little, he's fucking huge.
You've sworn so many times in the past 5 minutes, I can see how big it was.
Anyway, I'll deal with him afterwards. So, yes, poppycock. Utter poppycock.
King, do you think spiders poo?
They definitely do.
How else would they...
You see the remnants of it in the corner of my garage.
Really?
Oh yeah, Ben's got massive spiders in his garage.
Did you know that bees don't urinate?
Do they not?
Most insects don't urinate because they have to maintain moisture. Also, ants find their way by counting steps. And if you give an ant deliberately long legs by putting, stilts on them, they get lost.
That is ridiculous.
Well, like when you put Smartie tubes on the end of a cat's paws.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
King, do you want me to tell you my favourite phrase about piss that you didn't use?
Oh, please do.
You didn't use the phrase, "it's the steam off my piss." Have you heard that one before?
I haven't heard that one before.
Have you not?
No.
So, to put it into context, you'd say, "Hey King, I just ate 3 donuts," and you'd be like, "That's the steam off my piss."
Oh, it's in not being impressed by something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'd be impressed if you ate 3 donuts, though, Ben.
Yeah. It would seem more extreme than just saying that I had half today and I'll have half tomorrow.
Or just drink a pint, Ben, you know? We managed to drink a pint on the main stage at your wedding in one go. You can't even drink a pint normally with no pressure on you, in comfortable clothes, with no one watching you, in a pub.
That is a very specific description.
Ben, you can't do it. You're rubbish, Ben.
I feel like Dictionary Corner has tailed off a little bit.
Yeah, I got distracted by the spider. Do you feel that you've learned something on this episode of Dictionary Corner?
No.
No, so I've helped you out with piss, shit and poppycock.
Well, poppycock. I learned something from poppycock. But I already know everything there is to know about piss and shit.
That doesn't surprise me.
Thanks for letting me borrow the fax machine this month, guys. Fortunately, we have...
What do you mean, borrow the fax machine?
I've got it here.
Yeah, in the Smooth Traffic office where we meet to record.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I meant.
In Highgate, London.
Shattering illusions.
I am in the office in Highgate, London, with you both. And as you can see, I've got a fax here. Did you hear that?
Sounds like a
Rattling
Christmas
of paper.
cracker.
Ben's been feeding wallpaper into the machine again, John.
It sounds like frozen toilet roll.
Anyway, so it's time for Facts for Nothing.
Fax machines are the cockroaches of technology.
Right, so the question that our listeners have sent in this week is, if a zombie plague was to start right now, what would your first move be?
Cheese factory. No, I've got good reasons.
You're obsessed with cheese.
I've got good reasons. One, you can drink all the milk that's still in the milk delivery place, because everyone knows that milk is the raw product to make cheese with. Two,
And it never goes off.
Yeah, that's probably one of the worst things you could get.
Don't go off in the big fridge. Don't be silly. And two, you can use unmature cheese, which they call immature jelly cheese, and you can release it onto patches of land to make the zombies get stuck in it, and then you can pick them off at range with a big gun that all cheese people keep in their factories. 'Cause all cheese factories are on farms, and as we all know, farmers are like just armories basically. They've just got they've got M16s, they've got shotguns, they've got hand grenades. Go to a cheese farm, you can get the zombies sticky with cheese and then blow them up. It's a bit of a waste of the cheese, but you know, and you've got the milk there as a snack as well. You can have milkshakes and stuff.
So I had a
No, I've had a better idea, Ben.
idea.
I've had a better idea, Ben. Fuck your idea.
No, wait
Get a
your
tank.
turn. Wait your turn.
I've had a good idea, which is find Jonny and just make sure I can run slightly further and slightly faster than him. Because, quite frankly, he's going to get attacked by zombies immediately. With his
Well, King's going to be pushing me in a wheelchair. So...
John's... Yeah, fuck that. John's got the pace of a wall, Ben. So you'll be
exactly.
fine.
So basically, I'm going to throw him to the zombies and I can get a head start. But what I mean, literally, milk is the worst thing you could possibly find. It's like, it goes off. You're an idiot.
Oh really? Oh, really?
A Coca-Cola factory or
I
something.
didn't know you were Bear Grylls, Ben. I didn't know you were Bear Grylls. What a knob. You work in an office, you're not a survival expert.
You'd do better to just find a cow.
Oh, is that so, Ben? Oh, you just find a cow and lick the piss off it, because that's much more survivally. Oh, I've done a survival course. I've stepped in a park once.
Why would you lick the piss from a cow? They produce perfectly good
Because you're a
milk.
survival person, Ben. That's what you want to do. You want to go and eat leaves and lick piss off things, because, I'm a survival expert. What you want to do is just get a tank.
You would just get trapped in it if you managed to get in it in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, it'd have to be wheelchair accessible, obviously, so King could wheel me on. But once I'm
I'm
on...
not with you.
You're up north, John.
Let's make this perfectly clear. I am not with you when the zombie apocalypse happens, John.
What if we're all in our Highgate office in central London when it kicks off?
You're straight out the window, son.
To be
What, in a
fair,
wheelchair, King? That's a bit harsh.
Kingy, your flat would be quite a good place. It's quite defensive because you've got a decent set of open stairs and then it gets tighter and tighter at the top.
True.
Be good. Easy to defend.
I'm sure that we discussed this before, many years ago. And,
I discuss it regularly when drunk, so don't worry.
Okay. It probably wasn't, yeah. And we did come to a conclusion that my flat would be quite a good location to hold up. Probably only for a short time, because you can only fit so many supplies in here. But yeah, it's high. As you say, the staircase gets narrower and narrower as you come up. There's access to the roof, which means there's then access to the buildings.
Yeah, around it. You've got good visibility of the streets to keep an eye out for zombies.
And the toilet seat's loose, so you always are expecting something to happen, even when you're having a poo.
That is true. You're always on guard. And we could collect water from the roof rather than having to find fresh milk.
Oh, I'm a survival expert. My name's Ben Grylls.
Kingy, what would you do?
Tank. With me in a wheelchair. King's my gunner.
What would I do? Well, for a start, I wouldn't go and fetch Jonny straight away, because apparently he's in a wheelchair now. So he's not going to be... Oh, you can walk?
No, I don't want to.
Oh,
There's zombies running
exactly.
around. I just want to sit in a wheelchair.
This is exactly my point. Because
Take it in.
you're not in a wheelchair through necessity. You're in a
With a cup
wheelchair
holder.
because you can't be asked.
Wine glass holder.
And you're relying on other people to do your work for you, John.
Yeah, but if I've got a gun in the meantime, I can shoot. Just
Where
wheel
are you
me
getting
around
a
and
gun
I'll
from?
shoot for you. King, I know people with guns.
Have you ever actually fired a gun, Johnny?
Yeah, I have, Ben. Have you?
Have you?
Yeah.
Did you hit anything with it?
Yeah, I was Prestige on Call of Duty.
I thought as much. Definitely not meeting up with you in an apocalypse.
I've been to a gun shop and I've held a gun.
If we're putting a team together, I'd like to volunteer, Ben. I've been clay pigeon shooting.
Have you?
And I was victorious on my one.
Oh, that's
one trip
great,
to clay
King.
pigeon shooting.
Because all the flying zombies are going to be shot down by you. Thanks a lot, King.
Yeah,
all those zombie pigeons flying around trying to peck at us on the roof. You can just blow them away whilst I sit there in my wheelchair with a real man's gun, like a Mac-10 or something.
A real man's gun. Sat there with your poxy little submachine gun. Just firing off.
Shooting into the air.
Rounds.
Oh shit, I'm
Yeah.
running around.
Sometimes I like to antagonise, but I just can't take it seriously.
You're the sort of person that would be like, I can't get into my can of Coke, so you'd shoot it, just waste ammo to try and open the
Yeah. Yeah, I would. I'd love to shoot a can of Coke.
And it'd be on the automatic setting as well. So he'd fire off like 6 rounds getting into a can of Coke.
And it'd explode a whole case of 24 Coke that we just spent hours trying to, scrounge.
Salvage. Yeah.
I think about it. I'd just try and shoot it at an angle so the top just came off.
Yeah.
Same with
Good.
a tin of beans.
At least he'd kill himself quickly, King.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to worry about him.
Oh yes, you can go around licking cows, Ben, with their precious urine supplies they've got, because that doesn't go off. Jesus Christ! Just go to a cheese factory and have the milk.
It's difficult to know what to do, really. I
No,
would
it's not.
say if the... it is, John.
Tank.
if The Walking Dead has taught us anything, it's that prisons are probably a good place to go. But obviously, if the prisoners are already, well, if they're alive or dead, depending on what kind of security level of prison they are, probably not going to be the most welcoming location. Yeah. But very secure. I mean, military bases that have got obviously
somewhere with a moat.
Wire fences probably aren't great. A moat, maybe. It depends what the deal is with the zombies. Work. Can they run? Can they swim? Do they just walk?
Well, it's sort of a traditional moat with just a big trench rather than necessarily filled with water.
It won't work. Because in the book World War Z, the zombies can walk across the seafloor, and that's why Iceland is the most zombie-filled country on Earth after the Great Zombie War.
Good knowledge.
They walked across the bottom of the sea and went to Iceland.
Okay.
It's a good book, actually. It's a good book. It's much... Well, I haven't seen the film because I don't like zombie films, but apparently the film is a bit shit. The book's much better. I read the book.
I've seen the film. I thought it was alright.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've not read the book, so perhaps I should give that a go.
King, you said military base. Tank.
Yeah, but obviously a lot of military bases in this country... No, that's my point. A lot of military bases in this country are just like just wire fences.
Yeah, and
you put enough pressure on that, that's just going to fold in.
Yeah, if the security guards are down, then you're screwed, aren't you? So, and it's ammunition wasting.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a very good one.
So
it's better than King's Flat. You can't even drink the water in King's Flat.
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, it's that minerally water, isn't it?
If there's a zombie apocalypse, I think we can get past the fact that the water's a bit chalky.
No, we've got to go out and get some Volvic, really.
Well, that's right. We'll just do some looting. Yeah,
there's a shop round the corner, isn't there?
There is a shop round the corner.
It'll be open, I'm sure. It's one of those 24-hour ones. It's fine.
I'll tell you what, John. You come to me, pop up the co-op.
Yeah.
Get some supplies for us.
No, fuck that, King. Just push me up the road in the wheelchair, and you can put the stuff on my lap, and then we'll go and pay and go back.
It's not fucking Little Britain. We're not Andy and Lou. Just pushing you round. Do you want some chocolate?
Because I would get up and do stuff.
The zombies are coming, John. Get on. John, you stop being a fucking pain in the ass. I don't want to. Pleb.
But did you see my point about the cheese silos there? You can knock one over and make everything sticky to cut off. Because the zombies can't walk through cheese, can they? No one can walk through cheese.
The
you ever seen anyone walk through cheese before?
Cheese isn't a terrible shout because it's high in protein and all that sort of stuff and lasts for a long time. So you're almost onto a winner. It's just everything you've decided about Ben cheese Grills. Was wrong.
Thanks for that pat on the back. Ben Grills. Yeah, I'll buy your next book. Yeah.
It's the one thing you didn't mention though.
Yeah. I'm going to go to the cheese factory for all the milk. Well done.
Yeah, there's a great supply of milk there. You can have a milkshake. You know I love
It'll
vanilla
go
milkshakes. I've got some vanilla milkshake powder somewhere.
By the time you've worked out how to get through the front door, it would have gone off.
No, it's in a pressurised container. It'll be fine.
No, you didn't hear the caveat at the start. By the time you've figured out how to get through the front door.
Well, they'll let me in because I'm a cheese expert.
They won't let you in. There'll be no one there. They'll all be dead.
How do you know, King? I might be there on day one. All right, boys.
You wouldn't be there on day one.
Jonny Edge, cheese connoisseur. Do you mind if I come in? Because it's a bit wild out here. And then, do you mind? Have you got any milk? I'm a bit thirsty.
Yeah, because they're going to want to share their milk with you.
Done. Yeah, I'm an expert. They love me coming around the cheese factory.
They wouldn't want to share their milk with you.
Talking about cheese.
They'd take one look at you and they'd think, no, he's going to be a waste of resources.
What can you bring to the table?
Exactly. What are you bringing to the table? Rolling up in your wheelchair,
milkshake powder,
which you don't need.
They're looking at him thinking, this guy's going to be a liability.
But excellent.
Sure, he can write about his experiences, but there is no internet anymore because everything's down.
So your idea, Ben, was to lick the wrong end of a cow and hide in King's Flat. Great. King's idea was to go to a military base, which we decided doesn't work. Great.
No, I said go to a prison.
My idea is the best.
I said go to a prison.
Yeah, prison, where if you go there too early, you'll get attacked by prisoners. If you go there too late, it'll be full of zombies. Yeah. Great idea, King.
Why do you assume that you'll get attacked by prisoners? If you open the front door, they'll all probably leg it because they've all been locked up for years.
That's a good point. They might not even know.
Yeah, but when you're as attractive as me, you will get attacked.
I'm not putting you in the showers. We've talked about this before.
John, are you saying that if you went to prison, you'd be the prison bitch?
Oh yeah, easily. Without a doubt. Unless because I was in a wheelchair, they take sympathy.
But you're saying not because you're the weak link, but because you're so attractive that heterosexual men will think, actually, he looks pretty feminine.
I've changed my mind now.
That's the best I can do.
I've decided I'm going to be the guy in the wheelchair who deals cards at lunchtime.
Deals cards?
Yeah, everyone gathers round, we have a card game, we talk about what we're going to do when we get out of prison. be really popular. Like, oh yeah, let's play the card, that game Jack with the cards. So I'll be like, yeah, no worries, boys. I got my card pack right here. I've got my wheelchair. Wouldn't have to explain it to some of the new guys who've committed fraud, or like Ben copying Bear Grylls because he thinks he's a survival expert and he's not. He's just a dweeb.
Interesting, vaguely sensible question on this on this very insightful facts question. If there was a zombie apocalypse, presumably infrastructure would fail across the board for one reason or another. So, presuming that the three of us were, for some unknown reason, inclined to get together to try and survive as a group, how would we make contact with one another?
Letters.
Yeah, pigeon.
Pigeon, which I'm using as target practice. Bugger.
King shoots it down. Oh, there's a letter on this. I don't know.
Oh wait, I know how we communicate.
Go on.
Semaphore.
Fax machine.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Well done.
Fax machine, boys. Never fails. It was invented by Victorians, and it's still used today by people all over the world for important faxes.
They're the cockroaches of technology, John. Or so I've heard.
Exactly. So those dirty zombie slime balls are not going to be able to, intercept our coded messages, are they?
Yeah, because that's what zombies are going to be really all about. Intercepting coded messages.
Oh, I'm king. I know everything about zombies, even though they don't exist. Oh, they can. I know they can't crack codes. How do you know, king? They don't even exist. Anything could be possible. You're a pair of dweebs. We're going to the cheese factory and we're going to chill out and have a milkshake and spill cheese to make the zombies sticky and then gun them down with the farmers' weapons. Piece of piss. It'll all be over by Christmas.
So Ben, I'm thinking once John's left the office, we maybe come up with a unified plan of what to do if this does happen, and then
just
go from there. Yeah, leave John in his cheese factory.
He wouldn't find his way there. He'd try and turn his sat nav on. Guys, bloody thing's knackered.
No, I would turn it on successfully, but it wouldn't work because technology just doesn't work around me for some reason. I've got like an aura of EMP around me.
I was going to say maybe you're a walking EMP.
Yeah, I think I might be. In which case, the zombies don't stand a chance.
Maybe you're ground zero of the zombie outbreak.
Yeah, Johnny's the original zombie.
Yeah.
Do have a lot of health problems.
Well, there we go. Suspicious.
Well, now I know what I can put on my wheelchair wheels. Ground zero.
Slightly bad back, can't be asked to walk. It's what they've said on it.
So that about wraps it up for this episode of Smooth Traffic. Thanks for listening. Hope you've all enjoyed it. And if you haven't, I'm surprised you haven't turned off by now, to be honest. Please do rate and review us on iTunes if you're an iTunes user. If you're not enslaved by the Apple overlords, then do please review or rate or whatever it is on whatever platform you collect your podcasts from, presuming they have those functions. If you can't do that, then just talk about us on social media. Tweet people and say, listen to Smooth Traffic. Send a Facebook friend a link to Smooth Traffic. Do an Instagram post about Smooth Traffic. I'm almost as bad as John is at this, aren't I? Anyway, so thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in episode 47, which will include a preview of the upcoming FIFA World Cup. So if you like football, tune in. And if you don't like football, you'll probably enjoy it just as much, because let's face it, it's us three fucking goons. Cheerio!